Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make this DIY Dollar Tree eyeball mason jar. I'm not using a mason jar. This is a 1-gallon pickle jar that I'm upcycling, but you can use a 1-gallon mason jar. You're going to need 3 to 4 to 5 bags of eyeballs from the Dollar Tree, whatever, how many you want. This mason jar eyeball sign we used in a project. We're just going to use that front label. Some LED lights. They have white Christmas ones if you weren't able to get some Halloween ones, and some red decorative shreds. Red's important because it's going to be eyeball nerves. And if just for an added accent, if you have this purple eyeball ornament from the Dollar Tree as well. So I'm just taking my flat black 97-cent spray paint from Walmart, and I'm just spray painting the top of the lid. I have a lot of these jars that decorate my kitchen and I use for storage, and actually I use one of them all the time when I'm making my videos. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue the label to the front of the jar. This jar has been washed. I've run it through the dishwasher, and then I've taken the cover and I've put it through the dishwasher as well. What I've got here is just a glue stick, but you can use a pen or anything. I'm just wrapping this cardboard label. Now, if you've been around for a while and you saw the mason jar farmhouse DIY that we did, you know I ripped this label off from that project, and I said that I was going to reuse it. So I've run glue down one side after I've bent it. I've just bent it because it's thick cardboard and you want to be able to get it that round shape without too much trouble. And then I've just glued the two sides. Now again, this is not going to be a permanent. I like to redo my crafts from time to time. So other than peeling some hot glue off this glass, you can totally take this out and put it away and use the jar for something else. But I've dumped the 3 bags of eyeballs into a bowl just to kind of mix them up. So they were like, you know, when you if you poured the bags into the jar, it would be like a layer of red and a layer of purple and a layer of green. But what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to poke holes in the back. Now I'm going to show you a Dollar Tree method. You can take this pack of screwdrivers, and I've taken the little screwdriver with the blue handle. It's a little Phillips head screwdriver. And on the opposite side of the eyeball from the iris, I'm just twisting. Now I've sped this video up for length and content, but it's only twice as fast. So this does take a little bit of time and a little bit of pressure. But, you know, it is something. If you sat in front of the TV, you only need 10 eyeballs to fit in the lights. So you're not going to do this to the 3 bags of eyeballs. You just need the 10. I thought it would be cute enough if just 10 of them lit up throughout the eyeballs. Okay? And just to show you that it can be done. And then you want to do is you want to dry fit along the way your lights. Now, if you had gotten the LED lights that are little dots of almost look like hot glue along the string, you could use those as well. You may want to put some Scotch tape after to keep them in the hole if that's what you end up doing. But these I just kept going until I fit the light bulb in there, and then it fit perfectly, as you can see. Okay, and then it held on. I didn't need to glue it or anything, so I could always pop them out if I want to next time and use these lights for another project. So I'm going to do one more with the screwdriver just to show you guys that it can be done. Clean off the plastic as you go along. It's probably the best thing to do. And just take your time, you know, and once you think you've got it to just where you think it is, don't forget to check each light bulb. I also want to tell you, as I was doing this, I realized that one of the light bulbs was actually smaller than the other ones, which is weird because you think they're made in a factory, but maybe just the way it was taped on there or whatever. They aren't all the exact same size. So do them one at a time and then test them as you go along. Okay? But if you can get them to fit nice and snug, you won't have to put any glue. There was one that I was telling you was smaller, actually poked all the way into the eyeball, which was fine too. So what we're going to do now for my sanity and my arthritis is I'm going to get out my cordless drill. What I've found is that the 5/32 drill bit is perfect. It does make it a little small, and then I'm going to go back and open the hole up a little bit at a time with the regular little screwdriver that we just used, just because you don't want to make it too big. Okay? So once I have that hole in there, it's almost the exact same size as the light bulb. Then I'm just going to go in and gnaw it out a little bit with the screwdriver, and it definitely did help my arthritis. Just be careful if you're not experienced with the drill. You just want to go straight down. Don't push too hard on the drill when you're drilling through this plastic. Just let the drill do the work, okay? Because you don't want it to roll off the ball or go through the other side even, or crack it, any of those things. Just let the drill do the work, okay? And what I've done was I picked, because there's 10 lights and 3 different colors, I picked 3 red, 3 green, and 4 purple, okay? To match the purple eyeball we're going to put on the top. All right, I'm just going to repeat this roll. And then, of course, me and my need to make things in a pattern, I went purple, red, green, purple, red, green, purple, red, green, purple. Because I'm like that. And also don't forget, you don't want to forget to test your batteries and your lights first. Make sure they work. You hate to go through all this work and then find out that your lights don't work. I decided to use the white Christmas lights because the Halloween lights that I got were in orange, and I didn't think the orange was the look that I was going for. I just wanted white lights. And I picked up these white lights the other day from the Christmas section of the Dollar Tree. So this whole project is only costing me about $5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, 6 really, because I mean, I had the label left over from the other project, but if you were going to buy it new, the label from the mason jar thing. And then, of course, the pickle jar I had upcycled from my house. I love those giant pickles, I really do. I know that sounds crazy, but so I'm just going to keep doing the same thing, making all the holes bigger as we go along and fitting each one on. And I had it originally just thought that I was just going to throw these eyeballs in the jar. But then I realized I wanted it to be more than just like throwing eyeballs in the jar. And when I kind of came across the thought of like the red shreds, because to mimic like the veins and stuff that would come out of like an eyeball. I know this is such a lovely conversation we're having about, you know, eyeballs being pulled out, but it is supposed to look scary. But there are other ways. If you guys have any other ideas or suggestions, just go for it. That's just what I picked because I thought it kind of looked, you know, a little bit like veinies. So what I'm doing is I'm layering some eyeballs and then some of the shreds and then some of the eyeballs and then, but what I realized after I was all done and I put all of the shreds in there is that you could just throw everything in because you're going to stick your hand in the jar and manipulate the eyeballs later, because you want the eyeballs to kind of face out of the glass and you don't necessarily want them behind the label. So you're just going to end up playing with them anyway. And I've lowered in the ones that are on a string. This was a little bit of a pain in the booty, I will be honest with you, to try to hold it while I was having the light thing hang on the outside, and it kept trying to pull the light bulbs out, the eyeballs out, and it really was a hassle, but it ended up being really cute. I mean, I say it's a hassle. I was just cranky today, what can I tell you? So now you're just going to go in and you're going to adjust them. I tried to hide the cord in amongst the red, and what I ended up doing was grabbing like a big chunk of the red shreds and covering the cord all the way up to the label so that when I put the cover down it would still be covered. But just play with it. You guys have fun. If you do this with your kids, such an easy kid project, especially if you do the light bulbs and the kids can do the rest. Get all those little hands in there and make them move those little eyeballs around. Yeah, kids have much more patience for stuff like this than I do today. Just some days it's all about crafting and some days it's like, why do I have to do this? Today just was one of those days. So we're going to glue this. Again, I said this is going to be easily removable. This is just regular hot glue. It's not permanent. It'll pull off when I'm ready. But make sure that you leave it centered to the left and the right. You want enough room to work your switch, but you also need to leave room for the jar, for twisting the jar. And you don't want to push it all the way up against one side, because then the jar you won't have room for the jar to go up there. And then here we go again. I'm just manipulating and rearranging and fixing and futzing. Zhuzhing. Zhuzhing is my word. That's what I always say to Jim. He knows what a zhuzh is. He knows how to zhuzh curtains and stuff. I don't really know where that word comes from. But you're just basically going to go ahead and do the best you can to arrange it the way you like it. I ended up pulling a big chunk of the red out of the middle so it would balance out. Then I ended up laying the jar down and shaking the whole thing. So there is no rhyme or reason to it. It just keep going until it looks the way you want it to look, okay? Of course, this being electricity, you don't want to make it like water, but you could, if you opted out for the electricity, just fill this jar with water and let the eyeballs float around in there. That would really make it look like an experiment. So one added detail I told you was sort of like a bonus idea was if you were able to find these ornaments this year. I'm opting to take the purple eyeball, but I'll show you what it looks like with the black. Because I was like, oh, it's either going to be the black or the purple. Both of them look cute. I really did. But I figured since I was going with the eyeball theme, might as well make it the eyeball. And I do want to say that I was originally thinking, I just pulled off the little hanger, but I was originally thinking about cutting off of the little knob here, but then I realized two things. If I'm not going to make it totally permanent, it's probably a lot less glue to get off if I just glue the little end. Plus it kind of gives you like that drawer pull kind of knob, you know, it gives you a little spacer between the ball and the eyeball and the cover. So here I just wanted to show you how I pretty much just went in there and tried to manipulate as many eyeballs in many different directions as possible. You want to be able to see that they're eyeballs. They don't all have to be facing out, but you want to be able to see that they're all eyeballs. So even if you have it rolled where you just see like the red bloodshot part, or if you see just a little bit of the iris, that's okay. That looks cute. Okay. And then this is where I pulled up some of the threads, the shreds, excuse me, and pulled them up along the cord so that they would bury the cord a little bit in the top a little bit better. But I realized it's not even objectionable. I mean, it's not terrible. There you go. So now you can see it kind of camouflages a little bit better. And then that's it. I really thought it was cute. I really liked the way it came out. When I ripped the label off the other day, I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do with that. So here it is. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share this with friends or family, anybody you know who likes creepy eyeball jars and likes to upcycle stuff. And if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button and that little notification bell. That'll let you know when I upload a new video. And as always, you take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Happy Halloween!